What's going on, everybody? Staff Sergeant Michael Eckert here. Today I want to teach you all how to improve your plank with a few exercises that will help and complement the strengthening of holding the plank position. Per the Marine Corps, at least for the male standards, you have to hold a plank in the same position. You're not allowed to move, you're not allowed to adjust your arms, you're not allowed to dip your back. It has to stay the same plane the entire time for 3 minutes and 45 seconds. This is something new that the Marine Corps has been implementing in their system for the physical fitness test, and it's actually very challenging if you've never done a plank that long before, especially per the Marine Corps guidelines, because usually sometimes you can kind of wiggle around and whatnot, but the Marine Corps wants you to hold a plank perfectly straight with no movement the entire time. So it's definitely strenuous. And my first time doing it, I did max it, but I was already doing some different exercises to help complement the strengthening of a plank, and I'll show you those exercises. So first off, Marine Corps plank, it looks something like this. It'll look just like a regular plank as well. So you're holding it like this, and your arms are straight out in front of you, and back is nice and straight, and you just hold this position as long as you can. Some exercises that will help complement that are, one of my favorites is called a boat hold, where you sit on your butt and we try to isolate just the rectus abdominis, that six-pack area in front of you, where you sit back and you lift your feet up off the ground and you put your arms out in front of you and you kind of balance here. What this position does is it works out all the stabilizer muscles in your core, as well as the front portion of your rectus abdominis and your hip flexors as well. It really just burns in that area, and it helps with stabilization. And if you hold this for about 30 seconds to a minute during different exercises and pairing with the exercises I'm about to show you, it's a really good core builder for stamina and strength. So the first one is boat hold. Hold that position as long as you can, and then you can transition to the other ones. The second position, or second exercise, is going to help work on shoulder strength as well as core stabilization. So we're kind of pairing the two together. It's called a high plank step in and out. We can call them high plank steps if you want. But you're going to go into a high plank position where your body is resting in that, like, basically a high push-up position. And all you're going to do is step one foot in and then out. Step the other foot in and out. And do this repetitively, trying to hold the shoulders in the same position the entire time, because that works on core compression and it helps stabilize your muscles. So as I transition from one foot in, it puts a lot more stress on my shoulders. So my shoulders are flared up right now. They're really flared up, and they kind of relax as I come back out. And that's going to help develop all that shoulder strength to hold a longer plank, and it helps with a pairing of dynamic strength for the core. It's just a really good exercise to pair in your routine. And those are high plank steps. All right, the next exercise is called hip dips, and that's going to help strengthen the lower plank position, as well as, again, the rotating and twisting portion of your core is going to help with all that stabilization. So go ahead and get down into a regular low plank, and all you're going to be doing is twisting one hip to the ground, back up to a plank position, go to the other side, back and forth, and kind of get in the flow of it. What this is doing is not only helping the stabilization in my core as I rotate, but it's helping transition which shoulder is being flared up at one time. So as I rotate to the left, this shoulder is stressed more. As I rotate to the right, my right shoulder is stressed more. And it helps with building stamina and strength at the same time. So 30 seconds to 60 seconds of that, paired with the other two exercises I've shown, is going to be a really good workout. And we'll move on to the next exercise. All right, so this next exercise is called front plank points. It's pretty self-explanatory, but it's very advanced in the core movement area. It's a really good challenge for your body. You're going to be lifting one arm up off the ground at the same time as you point your finger out front. So it's a little bit of trunk rotation to try to balance yourself. You want to stagger your feet a little wider. Usually a plank is your feet are together. This is going to have your feet a little wider, so as you point, you're not tipping over because you have to stabilize. It's going to work out your your hip flexors and your quads a little bit too, which will help with that plank stamina. It's just a really good challenging exercise to help with your plank strength. So here, just like this, stagger your feet, nice neutral spine, and we're gonna rotate, point, rotate, point. And again, one shoulder is completely balanced at one time while the other is pointing. And it helps, you'll feel it in your hip flexors as you're pointing as well. A really good complement to all the other exercises we're doing. So front plank points for 30 to 60 seconds, pair with the other exercises, and you'll be feeling it for sure. So the last exercise, in my opinion, is the most challenging, and it's gonna flare up your shoulders and your stabilizers even more than the other exercises. And that's gonna be side plank roll throughs. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put one arm down, so our elbow and our forearm is flat on the ground. You're going to put your hip on the ground to set up, 1 foot in front, 1 foot behind, just for balancing purposes. You can stack your feet if you want to, but I like how this feels because it's a lot more stable and you can get a good engagement in your oblique. So what we do is we lift our hips up off the ground, supporting ourselves into a side plank, and the roll through, all it is, reach high to the sky, reach all the way underneath, and then back up. All the way underneath, and back up. And that's going to engage all of your oblique muscles here and help stabilize the core as well as flaring up the shoulder. And it's a super challenging movement. It helps isolate muscles that are hard to reach, like your oblique. Switch sides, 30 to 60 seconds, paired with all the other exercises, and you're going to be having a killer core workout specific to developing plank stamina and strength. The last kind of bonus exercise would be honestly just holding a front plank. It's a great way to practice because front planks are more strength and skill. So if you've never held a plank before, you definitely want to practice holding that position because you'll realize that like as you hold it for more than a minute, you might start to sink a little bit, which means maybe working on your glutes and lower back a little bit to help engage or flexing your core a little more. And yeah, just holding a front plank, make sure you incorporate that into your exercises once in a while, at least for the skill training and getting used to feeling how exhausted you get in that position, because around the 3-minute 30-second mark is where I really start to shake. And that was before I started doing all the strength and stamina exercises. But yeah, first time ever doing it, I maxed it at 345, but it's not easy to do that if you're not used to doing planks. If you didn't know, the Marine Corps used to do crunches, which was just partner buddy, hold your feet, elbows to quads or a little bit above, and do as many as you can in 2 minutes. Now they've switched over to the plank to see how long you can hold it. To max it, it's 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Hope you all enjoyed and liked this video. Let me know if you did in the comments. Thanks everybody.